Hi everyone, it's Audrey Alison, and I just wanted to set up this intro video to thank you for your patience in the delay for the November forecasts. It's 5 days after November, so I appreciate your patience with that. For those of you who've been patient, I wanted to let you know the reason behind this is because I just made a major move. I moved across the United States and I drove, and I really had a blast, but I could not record because I averaged about 8 to 9 hours a day in the drive. And it's very draining to record the videos. I needed to reserve a lot of my energy. And when I got to my loft in Jersey City, I didn't have Wi-Fi yet. I moved, so I have to handle some things in my own life, and I appreciate your patience. Right now, I'm still setting things up in the loft. So I'm at my mother's house, the house I was born and raised in several decades ago. But what I love about the timing of this is I didn't realize I would be recording here. And what I love about this room is I always get a lot of energy when I'm home in this house. This is the room my father passed away in, and I always feel the presence of him here and as well as other family members, but I feel like it's going to be something special. So I really appreciate the patience with getting these up. In my new space, it'll be more conducive to recording, a little more professional, and a lot more quiet and clear and clean energy is in this loft. So I'm excited to have more time and the right space to record in. My older property in Los Angeles was starting to get very invaded with lack of privacy in the area, and I was surrounded by a lot of energy that wasn't working for me anymore as a reader. And that'll change. You know, I lived in that place for 14 years, quite a long time, and it just I can't really explain it. I know I needed a change, and this is exactly where I needed to be. So, on to your forecasts. Again, thank you for your patience, and I'm wishing you a beautiful month. And the next video you see will be shot from my new place. So I'm excited about that too. This whole transition is exciting for me. Okay, on to the forecasts, and I'll see you soon. Hi Sagittarius, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your November 2016 forecast. If you didn't watch the intro, please do so. It'll let you know why I was delayed 5 days. Also, it'll let you know the room I'm reading in, how special it is to me. But I am using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place, my steadfast deck, and I'm thankful for you subscribing to the channel, and thanks for your patience. Okay, let's get to November. The first transit I actually wanted to discuss was on the 9th. So I think we're okay here with the timing. It's not a common thing for me to be late. So I appreciate your patience. On the 9th of November, we have Mars making a transit into the sign of Aquarius. So when Mars enters that air sign, that affects your third house of communications. And Mars being energy, action, speed, and even aggression in the third house, you want to watch the tone, your speech, and how you're coming across to people, because Mars is very harsh and can be very aggressive. So watch the road rage and how your tone is, especially to siblings, also third house. So Mars in the third could see, though, a lot of energy in communication, speech, local travel, energy for the vehicle, new vehicles. Mars is here for 60 days, and this transit happens once every 2 years in a sector. So you can have a lot of, you'll be talking a mile a minute, Sagittarians, because Mars rules fire, the sign of Aries, and you are fire as well. So there's just a quick temperament to Mars in the third house. You could bite your tongue literally because you're talking too fast. When Mars enters this sector, he then stimulates the air signs. So Jupiter in the sign of Libra, this will be a trining energy. Jupiter's in your 11th house. So connection with friends, communicating with friends, reunions, all things All energy regarding goals is expedited at this time because of the 11th house and Jupiter sitting in that section, just expanding it big time. The clubs and groups you're affiliated with and who's coming into your life as a support system. Mars is going to have you reaching out with people probably from the past, from the future, from the current. It's a very speedy little placement, and I like that. And you're running a lot of errands. You're all over the place in the third house locally. Also giving energy to repair relationships with siblings. On the 11th of November, we have Venus entering the sign of Capricorn. And this is great for your money because Venus rules money and love. And I know she gets a lot of credit for the love portion because she is Aphrodite, the goddess of love. But Venus governs Taurus as well, which is the money, the security, the financial security, the self-worth. And Capricorn is your money sector. So on the 11th, when Venus enters Capricorn, she will be conjunct Pluto, the planet of intensity, who's already been stationed there for quite a while. And the two of them combined, conjunct, really could add to the smoothing over of the finances and also how you're speaking about yourself. I mentioned this in one other video, but it applies to Sagittarius here because negative talk or self-deprecation and negative speech really does affect you if you're doing that. And you want to just put out all positive vibes when you're speaking about yourself or how things are working for you. I would talk about how things are working for you as opposed to how they aren't. Venus could see a lot of relief in the financial area for the 30 days she's there. The following day, a more personal planet action on the 12th, Mercury makes a transit into the sign of Sagittarius. Okay. So now it's all about you, Sag. It's about to be your solar return, so happy birthday. And from the 12th of November on, we've got major planetary action in your first house of self and body. Mercury, for starters, entering your sign really helps communication, speech, details, analysis. Delays on information and paperwork that you've been experiencing, you'll now see them push forward. Because when Mercury enters your sector, he's then trining Uranus in Aries, your brother-sister fire sign. And Uranus in the 5th house is seeing Sagittarians spontaneously meeting romantic partners, also suddenly gaining insight regarding creative businesses, entrepreneurial endeavors, creative ventures, and artistic endeavors. I like this. For those of you interviewing, job interviews, Mercury in the 1st is seeing you really on your game with speech. You know that you are listening, you're receiving the right details. Everything is going smoothly in the 1st house with Mercury direct there. Now, on the 14th, we have our full moon at 22 degrees of Taurus. This is in the 6th house, so there is a completion to a diet regimen, a completion to a physical workout or a training that you were going through. There's an illumination in the 6th house. What needs to be seen in your job, in your daily routine, in your patterned routine regimen throughout the day. Maybe you're changing a route. The full moon is an ending or a closure. Could see an end to a health ailment. Health is the 6th house. You could put an end to a treatment that you were taking at that time. Now, for those of you with pets and older pets, I don't like a full moon in the 6th for the pet owners that are dealing with, pets that aren't feeling well or older pets, because this is when they can transition. A full moon in the 6th. This brings an ending to the 6th house of pets. So keep your eye on that and tend to them as you see fit. I certainly don't wish that for anyone. We love animals. So, and it doesn't mean that if you have a pet that something horrible is going to happen, but the full moon brings an ending. So it can be prepared for the release if this animal is already heading that way. On the 21st, we have our Sun in Sagittarius. So, conjunct Mercury in your first house. The Sun being the life force, it is a Sagittarian's party. It's time to celebrate over the Thanksgiving holiday in the States, if you celebrate that. And it's such a beautiful time for Sagittarian, and it's your solar return. This is where you shine, Sag, and you love this month, and you love December as well, so it's a double whammy. On the 29th, there's the new moon at 7 degrees of Sagittarius. It's amazing because you have the major hitters in the first house. You can initiate your new beginnings. This is your new year time. It's an early degree moon, which I like. It's probably a brand new idea that you're thinking of. Moons range between 0 and 29 degrees, 29 and change, 0 and 30 degrees. But you won't see the 30 degree mark. You know what I'm saying. It's 29.59 degrees is how far it can go. So the earlier the degree, I feel, the earlier the impetus, or the newer the idea, fresh start energy. If it were like a 29 degree moon, it might be an idea that you had previously that you want to bring up again and initiate, is the way I interpret it. But a 7 degree new moon in your first house, this is a brand new start for Sag, and you deserve it because I feel like Sag has gone through some major change in the year previous, and this is time to start new beginnings. By the month's end, we have Neptune and Chiron direct in Pisces. So that's the 4th house of home, environment, mother, the maternal energy. There's a healing in the 4th house for Sagittarians, a healing about where they came from, their roots, the relationship with your mother. Let's get to the cards. I'm anxious to read in this room. I mentioned that this room is the room where my father passed, and I was born and raised in this house, and I get a lot of energy in this room a lot because when I first started seeing and hearing spirits, it was shortly after my father passed in a major way, and I was only 19, and I'm 43, so it's been quite a while that's been occurring. But when I'm in this room, I don't even need my cards, and I start hearing and feeling and seeing things. So let's get to the reading for Sagittarius for November. And if you'd like to read with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. I'm booked usually 7 to 10 days out. It's very rare that I can fit someone in a couple days notice like I used to do. But I will get back to you in a quick period of time, and we can set that up. Okay, and that's at audreyalison.com. And if you'd like to find me on Facebook, that's Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. And that's great because I let people know that the scopes would be delayed on a few posts there. So you might want to get that hooked up and like that. Okay, Ace of Swords, Sagittarius. This is one of my favorite cards that isn't a major arcana card because it is the card of yes. It is the card of victory. And if you had a question in your mind while I was shuffling or throughout this reading, your answer is yes. It's also your first house of self. That arrow or that sword is like a 1. It's all about you this month, Sag. That's what's up. You are the victor. You've got the first house of self and body ignited through half the month and then going into December. So let's see what else comes up. The Ace of Swords on its own is also positive thinking. Did I say something about negative talk or negative speech? Maybe. But yeah, I did. Okay, so positive thinking, positive speech, and wisdom, and a brilliant idea is what's coming through. Now, the 4 of Cups in the past position is about the hold that you've had. It's taking a conservative approach. The elephant stuck in the sand, that guy doesn't move very quickly. But there is a temperament here. Oh, and you are Temperance, the card of Temperance. Maybe I'll pull that. But they're saying there's a pace here all in sweet due time. Any Sagittarians who were feeling stuck, you'll be pushing forward victoriously. I'd say by the 12th of November, you're feeling this catalyst energy. Hey, King of Fire, that's you, baby. That's Sag to the max. It could be Aries or Leo, but when I pull a fire sign in the reading of a fire sign, I feel like it's referring to you, but you are the master of feelings. You're very passionate. You're the explorer, the adventurer. You govern the 9th house. Let's see what else comes up. 8 of Coins, keeping focused, repetition and repetitive hard work, and minding your business and focusing on the task at hand. 3 of Cups, friendship, happiness, celebration. And this is about Thanksgiving too, the coming together of friends and family, and the acknowledgement of love and happiness and support. You have one more card, and then I'll do a summation. The Star, major arcana energy, recognition, hope, peace, spirituality. And it's the sign of Aquarius too. We have Aquarian energy with Mars entering that sign in the top of the month. But the way I'm seeing this, it is kind of scattered all over the place. To start a reading with a yes, I'm not worried about things. I feel like you have a victory ahead of you in just the remaining 2 months of the year. I don't think you're going to have to wait until we are in the number 1 year to feel the start of something fresh, because this is your new moon. And you're one of the few signs that I think can start the year of beginnings a little bit earlier and not wait until January. And even March 20th is divine time for a fresh start. But what I'm getting is that any Sagittarians who have felt stuck in the movement, and could have been about 4 months now with the 4 of Cups, maybe a slow pace, this is going to pick up for you. Fire, the King of Fire is very action oriented. The more positive you are here as well, and the more you just keep within your mind a certainty of how things will work out for you. What you think about, you bring about. So keep it positive. Keep it clear too. Clear thinking. You don't want to drown yourself in a lot of alcohol and pills while you're trying to figure out the life path. No judgment. I'm not saying that for any reason other than just getting that message. You can turn to friendship and family support in order to get tasks accomplished in the month of November. And I know Sagittarians tend to be independent. I'm also seeing things here in the room. Sagittarians tend to be independent, but you can rely on friends and family to get things done. Crazy, but you know, I'm getting my family members in this room right now. So I feel like the message is about you don't have to do everything yourself. The Star is very independent too, but at peace. So, and it's a spiritual card. It's a card of spirits. So call upon ancestors who have passed too. If you really want something done and handled, you need to just express it. You could pray about it. You could talk aloud about it. I get so emotional in this room. But I feel there's help at hand for Sagittarians. You just have to ask for it if you want it, and listen. You have to listen for it. There could be siblings around you, Mars in that 3rd house of siblings as well, that are really willing to help out with goals with Mars in Aquarius, trining Jupiter in the sign of, or the 11th house of goals, in the sign of Libra. So you can ask for help. and it would be effortless for you. It won't be like last time where it caused you problems. That's a message. It won't be like last time where asking turned out to be more of a hindrance. You have a lot of strong support around you. This is your new moon. You have the sun with you, Mercury, the communication planet. Thank you. You have to communicate what you want, Sag. That's the only way it can really manifest. Even if you're not really saying it to anyone, write that shit down. Get it out alone. Allow the universe to hear you. And I think that might be really helpful going into the year of beginnings, 2017, which I'm very excited for. Thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful. I'm wishing you a sweet November, and remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.